Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsom with Real Life Trading Dadcam. I trust you are alive and well. Boy, oh boy, some volatility coming in the building. These pink lines were just kind of what I was thinking was going to be happening over the last 2 to 3 days, and both of them, expect us to go down a little bit more. Yesterday I mentioned that we probably would gap down, trade down, run up, and then close very similar to a candle like today. And I don't think we found the bottom yet. And if I turn off all the drawings, this is a gap and go. And this upper shadow is not entirely accurate. Here's the 5 minute. We should have had an upper shadow, but it wouldn't have been quite this big. So this wick comes in on all charting softwares, at least the ones I see, Thinkorswim, all that good stuff. So I believe we have a little bit lower to go out there. And today was a really interesting day for me because so much happened. It's almost too much to talk about. I'm gonna do my best, see if I can get through this before the afternoon swing trading room begins. First and foremost, got stopped out of Macy's by 5 cents today. I guess I moved my stop to a too obvious of a location. Old stop was 33.86. I guess I should have left it alone. But once that upper shadow came in from just the other day, I figured it would probably be wise to lower the stop a little bit. That didn't happen. So I lowered it, I guess, too much and got stopped out on Macy's. So that happened about 10 minutes into open. And then SOHU was another bullish swing trade that I got stopped out on today as well, which again, just by a few pennies. So, that's bound to happen from time to time, but never fun, but it did occur. And, earnings is around the corner. My plan and objective was to get in and get out before earnings, but obviously that didn't really happen, at least presently. And we'll just kind of keep an eye on what that does overall into earnings. But really, SOHU looking like it could keep going down a little bit more. To make the pain a little bit better, CSX, which was a bearish swing trade, did gap down and open at a target for some gainages. That was about 1.72 Rs. So between 2 R losses, so that was negative 2 Rs, and then you had a plus 1.72 Rs. That was this morning, almost 10 minutes into market open. Then from there, took a Netflix trade. So here's NFLX, and Netflix, by the way, pretty weak. My note yesterday was if Netflix closes below 309 tomorrow, more bearish than bullish for a while. And that did happen. We did close down below 309, and here's the weekly chart. The weekly chart looks like a double top. You do have 4 bearish candles in a row. You closed below the moving averages of 50 and everything. So on almost all the markets with the, if we go back over to the Qs really quick, the Qs also closed below the 50 with volume. The SPY also closed below the 50 with volume. I could see a smidge of retest next week, maybe a gap up or something, but I do think we're going to continue to get some lower lows out there. Specifically on the SPY, we could trade down to the 100 simple moving average, which is about 258. Now back to Netflix. So NFLX, early this morning, I saw the candle that I thought I wanted to see, and I think I took all the drawings off. Yeah, I think I did. So on Netflix, if I turn on the extended hours and turn these off really quick, got a high wave candle, and looking back, it should have been bullish, but got a high wave candle on the 3-minute chart. If I kind of scoot over, right, the pre-market, it was making lower lows and lower highs, as you can kind of see with this purple, whatever color this is, brown type of pattern. So what happened is just an entry here, right below the low of that candle. Stop was right there, and that got stopped out within about 6 minutes. So that was down another R. Then what occurred was later in the day, so switched into a 5-minute chart now. So here's the 5-minute chart. The 5-minute time frame, it actually broke down a little bit on the bearish side, and the same exact entry, entry here, stop there, same exact entry worked out really, really well for Netflix. So it was a trade down, broke up, trade down, very nice pennant pattern, Beautiful breakdown, very cute little lower shadow right here. So that was it, and then the green arrow shows the exit. Now the only thing I'm a little sad about is I didn't go bullish on Netflix at that price right when I got out, because at that point the Qs were down, I think 4.5%. The market was just screaming lower. The SPY had like 4 or 5 bearish candles in a row. Netflix had 4 or 5 bearish candles in a row, and it just didn't really seem like a bounce was going to happen. So that was a 1.25 R gain on Netflix. And then over here on the Qs, I was able to scalp some bullish Q action. So if I move this over here, I know all these drawings are getting annoying, but let me just kind of get over here. The bullish Qs was a fun, very fun scalp. Here's the morning star right here. Went bullish there, exited there with a stop down here for about 0.3 Rs on the Qs. And the ironic part is I wanted to go bullish right here, entry here, stop there. But my plan says if I take a trade once and win on it, I can't trade a second time. Didn't trade the Qs. And the SPY didn't really get the exact same setup that I liked on it, but that would have been a good R and a half, I think. But the overall scalp was for plus 0.3. And then, let me hop over here. Took a trade on CELG, CELG. So here's CELG. I know all these drawings are getting kind of crazy, so I'm just going to move it over here. So CELG, I'll do it with a different color, blue. We went bullish when the market was popping. And again, I'm pretty happy I got stopped out on this trade. Market was popping. You had this little retest, little pennant pattern. Bought in on a pullback there with a stop right there, and got stopped out realistically within 15 minutes for a negative 1 R loss. And that was pretty much it. Did have some puts that we're able to get out of for some hedges and, you know, kind of play it semi-conservatively, but a lot going on today, a lot of movements. If you did get a chance to, you know, play some trades, congratulations. If you got a chance to make some gains, most importantly, congratulations to you, because it was pretty wild out there. Pretty happy to be down only 0.73 Rs for the day. And again, most of it really was those swing trades. But I do have a trade on PayPal, PYPL, option trade that I'm probably going to get stopped out on. So I think I can hide all these now. Probably going to get stopped out on this on Monday. And if I do, this is the option trade, then I'll lose pretty much an R, and then I'll look to get back in on Monday if PayPal breaks the low of this high wave candle. So kind of fingers crossed that it doesn't, but that's kind of my plan right now, is if it does break. The stop today, the low was $1.01. So we got 1 penny away from getting stopped out on the PayPal options. So if we do break down lower on Monday, then I'll probably be looking at taking a little bit of a bearish approach on PayPal just for a quick gain to see if I can get that R back. And really just slowly try to come out alive of October, because this is a very volatile month, obviously. And there are some traders that are just absolutely killing it. My buddy Andy Richardson said this was his most profitable month since joining Real Life Trading. Troy Beinhauer sent me a message today saying he was up 9 Rs on the day. That was mostly in part thanks to Tesla, TSLA. Tesla had a nice bullish gap and go yesterday, a good follow through today. And my note was, if Tesla closes below the low of today in the next 2 to 3 days, that it will most likely pull a Netflix. So you guys remember when Netflix gapped up on earnings, closed below that candle, then tanked. That was that move, and that didn't really pan out. So yeah, nice move on Tesla, good bounce, good breakthrough, a little bit of a double bottom. Tesla going to be trapping some bears for a while. Had a lot of traders with some put sales on Tesla, so that's one that did slowly work out. Just so many stocks to look at today. Here's Square, SQ, a little bit of a bullish high wave candle. And again, any type of bearish momentum or any type of selling, or even if we gap up a little bit, just if we have a gap up on Monday, I'm kind of expecting the market to gap up on Monday a little bit and then probably fade down just to kind of keep the bear party alive for a little bit longer. A lot of things to look at, but here's LEN, which was the only actual request that I got for today. And LEN, Lennar Corporation, had a bullish day today with volume nonetheless. Here is the weekly time frame. And the weekly time frame, you got a really good support, nice hammer candle. And if you zoom out all the way to a monthly chart over here, so this monthly chart, a lot of people just keep an eye on seeing, is this support going to bounce, or is it going to pull, very similar to what it did before? Now, even if it does do something like this and break and go lower, it would be my thought process that even if that does happen, this particular move, we could at least expect some type of pop off of this support before we get that extra right shoulder. So LEN, for the trader who requested that one, this is a pretty decent bullish candle, a lot of volume. Just expect on Monday on the broader markets, if we do gap up, I don't think we just scream off to the races. We certainly could. It would be a little bit of a bullish gap and go on the SPY, depending on where we gap up on Monday. I kind of do think we might gap up on Monday. But again, there's so much time between now and then, we're just going to have to see. Just going to wait around and find out what happens between now and then, because there's so much time. But we really are quite far away from moving averages, especially on a weekly chart. It would make a little bit of sense, realistically, for us to get a gap up, some trade higher, into the into around the 50, maybe a week or two, one more final thrust lower, and then we get that bounce. We will see, folks, but honestly, all I can say is make sure you follow your plan. Don't pick a random day where you just go all in and hope for the best, right? That's never a good strategy. That's called gambling, not trading. Have your plan, follow your plan, and know that, yeah, there's some really fun volatility in here. And if you're scared, if you're afraid, if you're worried, if you're losing money, just be patient. There's going to be more opportunities to trade in the future. Market will be here tomorrow, which is Monday for us. The market will be here. Volume still not nearly as high as it was back in February, but I think this is probably more likely that we actually do continue lower, because it wasn't just such a massive flash crash. It's actually occurring over 4 or 5 weeks of time. So yeah, a little bit lower to go, short the rip, and then eventually buy the dip. I'll be back on Monday for another stock review. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.